Do you know that over 27 million Americans over 60 are living single today? That's more than ever before in history, yet so many of us feel alone in this experience, like we're somehow doing something wrong. I remember meeting Clara, a 72-year-old woman who had been happily married for 43 years before her husband passed away. "I never planned on being single again," she told me, tears welling in her eyes. "Nobody prepares you for starting over at this age." Her words stayed with me because they capture what so many of us feel. That sudden realization that life has taken an unexpected turn. Whether you're single by choice, by circumstance, or by loss, today's video will reveal 3 profound truths about single life after 60 that most people don't talk about. These insights come directly from conversations with hundreds of seniors who've been exactly where you are now. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand these hidden realities, but you'll also have practical strategies to navigate this chapter with confidence, purpose, and yes, even joy. Because being single after 60 isn't just about survival. It can be about discovery, freedom, and creating a life that's truly your own. Stay with me until the end, because the third truth is something that completely transformed how I view relationships at this stage of life, and it might just change everything for you too. Don't miss the final insight. It's one that most people overlook, yet it holds incredible power in predicting what lies ahead. These markers could completely reshape how you see your future and add valuable years to your life. If this has sparked your interest, show your support by hitting the like button, subscribing to our channel, and sharing this video with those you care about. Together, let's make informed choices for a healthier, longer life. If you're finding value in what you're hearing so far, please hit that like button and comment, "Single and Thriving," below. Your engagement helps our community grow, and I read every single comment. Now let's dive into the first surprising truth about single life after 60. Truth number 1. Rediscovering yourself is both terrifying and exhilarating. One of the most unexpected aspects of being single after 60 is the profound journey of rediscovering who you are when you're no longer defined by your relationship status or family role. For decades, many of us built our identities around being someone's spouse, someone's parent, or someone's caretaker. We made decisions based on compromise, considering the needs of others alongside our own. But suddenly there's just you, your desires, your preferences, your choices. Take Robert, for example. At 67, after his divorce was finalized, he found himself alone in his apartment staring at empty walls. "For the first time in 40 years, I could decorate however I wanted," he told me, "but I realized I had no idea what my own taste even was anymore." That moment of panic, not knowing your own preferences, is surprisingly common. It happened to Margaret too. After her husband of 52 years passed away, she continued making his favorite meals for months, even though she didn't particularly enjoy them. One day I was cooking his favorite pot roast when it hit me. I've always preferred fish. I could eat fish every day if I wanted to. No one was stopping me. This rediscovery process spans every aspect of your life. Your daily schedule. Do you prefer early mornings or late nights? Now you get to decide. Your living space. Maybe you've always wanted a reading nook or a garden, but compromised for someone else's preferences. Your social circle. Which friendships truly energize you, and which ones were maintained out of obligation? Your interests. Perhaps there were hobbies you set aside or never pursued because they didn't fit into your shared life. Even your values may evolve as you reflect on what truly matters to you personally. This journey of rediscovery can feel terrifying at first. Many seniors describe feelings of being untethered, like they're floating without the anchor of their previous identity. The questions, "Who am I now and what do I really want?" can feel overwhelming when you've spent decades considering others in every decision. But here's what those who've walked this path want you to know. After the initial discomfort comes an exhilarating sense of freedom. The opportunity to redefine yourself isn't a burden. It's a gift that many never get to experience. William, a 74-year-old widower, described it perfectly. "It took me about a year of fumbling around, trying different things before I realized this wasn't something to get through. It was a chance to become the person I never had the freedom to be before." Now I'm taking painting classes, something my wife always thought was impractical. I'm not very good, he laughed, but I've never felt more alive. So how do you navigate this rediscovery process? Here are 3 practical strategies that have helped countless seniors. First, approach it like an explorer. Keep a curiosity journal where you note things that spark your interest, no matter how small. Did a particular color catch your eye? Write it down. Did a conversation about travel make you excited? Note it. These small clues can guide you toward your authentic preferences. Second, give yourself permission to experiment. Try new foods, new activities, new daily routines without the pressure of commitment. Remember, you're not looking for perfect matches. You're gathering data about yourself. Some experiments will fail, and that's valuable information too. Third, connect with other singles over 60 who understand this journey. Whether through local community centers, online forums, or groups specifically for seniors, sharing this experience reduces the isolation and provides inspiration. Hearing how others have navigated this rediscovery can illuminate possibilities you hadn't considered. Remember, this rediscovery isn't selfish, it's necessary. By understanding who you truly are now, you can show up more authentically in all your relationships and contribute more meaningfully to your community. The more you know yourself, the more you have to offer the world. If you're experiencing this rediscovery journey right now, I'd love to hear about it. Comment rediscovering below and share one thing you've learned about yourself since being single. Your insight might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Now let's move on to the second surprising truth about single life after 60. Truth number 2, your social health becomes as vital as your physical health. When you're in a long-term relationship, it's easy to let your social circle shrink without noticing. Your partner often becomes your default companion, confidant, and social coordinator. But when you're single after 60, you quickly discover a truth that married people often miss. Your social connections become as crucial to your well-being as exercise, nutrition, or medical care. Barbara, a 78-year-old who never married, put it bluntly. My married friends are often shocked when they find themselves alone. They never developed the social muscles I had to build. Now they're playing catch-up while dealing with grief or adjustment at the same time. The research confirms Barbara's observation. Studies consistently show that seniors with strong social connections live longer, experience less cognitive decline, recover faster from illness, and report higher levels of happiness than those who are isolated, regardless of whether they're married or single. Let me introduce you to Thomas, a 68-year-old who lost his wife to cancer after 37 years of marriage. In our relationship, my wife was the social director, he explained. She maintained our friendships, planned our gatherings, kept us connected to the community. When she died, I not only lost my spouse, I lost my entire social infrastructure. Thomas's experience is common, especially for men who often rely on their wives to maintain social connections. But what happened next is instructive. Instead of withdrawing, Thomas forced himself to join a walking group at his local park. It was awkward at first. I didn't know how to make conversation without Helen there. But I kept showing up, 3 mornings a week. 6 months later, those walking buddies became my lifeline. What Thomas did instinctively was vital. He recognized that he needed to actively build his social health, just as deliberately as he managed his physical health. For Eleanor, 73, the challenge was different. After her divorce, she maintained plenty of casual friendships but realized she lacked deeper connections. I had plenty of lunch dates, but no one I could call at 2 a.m. if I needed help. That's a frightening realization at this age. Eleanor's insight highlights an important distinction. Social health isn't just about quantity. It's about having the right types of connections. Research suggests we need 3 kinds of relationships: intimate connections, people with whom you can be vulnerable, share your deepest thoughts, and rely on in times of need. Friendship connections, people who share your interests, provide companionship, and bring joy to your life. Community connections, a broader network that gives you a sense of belonging and purpose beyond your immediate circle. When you're single after 60, you need to intentionally cultivate all 3 types rather than expecting one relationship to fulfill all your social needs. So how can you strengthen your social health? Here are 3 strategies that have proven effective for single seniors. First, audit your current social network. Make a list of your connections and honestly assess who energizes you, who can you truly count on, where are the gaps. This clear-eyed evaluation helps you invest in relationships that matter and identify the types of connections you need to develop. Second, leverage your interests to build connections. Join groups centered around activities you enjoy, whether it's birdwatching, book discussions, community service, or political activism. Shared interests create natural conversation starters and build relationships based on common ground, rather than just proximity or history. Third, embrace technological connections while balancing them with in-person interaction. Video calls, social media, and online communities can be valuable, especially for maintaining relationships with family and friends who live far away. But research shows that face-to-face interaction provides benefits that digital communication cannot fully replace. James, an 81-year-old who's been single for over a decade, found his solution in a combination of approaches. Monday is my video call day with my grandchildren across the country. Tuesdays and Thursdays I volunteer at the library. Wednesday is my chess club. Weekends are for spontaneous invitations and rest. Having this framework ensures I'm never isolated for too long. What's remarkable about James's approach is the intentionality. He doesn't leave his social health to chance any more than he would skip his heart medication or ignore a doctor's appointment. He treats it as an essential component of his well-being, because it is. If you're watching this and realizing your social health needs attention, don't be discouraged. Like physical fitness, social well-being can be improved at any age with consistent effort. The key is to start where you are and build gradually. If you found this section valuable, please comment "connection" below. And I'd love to hear your strategies for maintaining social health as a single person. Your ideas might help someone else who's struggling right now. Now let's move on to the third, and perhaps most transformative truth about single life after 60. Truth number 3. You're free to redefine what fulfillment and intimacy mean on your own terms. Perhaps the most liberating truth about being single after 60 is that you're now free to create your own definition of a fulfilling life, including how you experience intimacy and connection. For generations, there's been a narrow script of what successful aging looks like. Retirement with a spouse, focusing on grandchildren, perhaps some travel, and gradually stepping back from active engagement with the world. But single seniors are pioneering a new narrative, one that's more expansive and individually tailored. Consider Diane, a 70-year-old widow who made a decision that shocked her family. 3 years after her husband died, she sold their large suburban home and moved to a small apartment in Spain for 6 months of the year. "My children thought I was having a breakdown," she laughed. "But I had always dreamed of living abroad, and now I finally could. Why should I wait for permission or company to create the life I want?" What Diane discovered was that fulfillment in her third act didn't need to follow anyone else's template. Without the constraints of compromise, she could design a life around her own deepest values. For Howard, 76, redefining fulfillment meant finding purpose through mentorship. After his divorce at 63, he initially felt adrift. "I had been defined by my role as a husband and father for so long. But then I started volunteering with young entrepreneurs, sharing my business experience. That relationship, being needed for my knowledge rather than my marital status, gave me a whole new sense of purpose." Howard's experience reflects an important shift that many single seniors discover. Fulfillment often comes from contribution, from feeling that your life experience matters to others. Without the responsibilities of a partnership, many find they have more energy and time to invest in their communities. But perhaps the most transformative redefinition happens around intimacy. Our culture often equates intimacy exclusively with romantic or sexual relationships, leaving single seniors to believe they must either pursue traditional dating or accept a life without closeness. Martha, an 82-year-old who's been single for over 2 decades, challenges this limited view. "There's a depth of connection in my women's group that I never experienced in my marriage," she told me. "We've supported each other through illness, loss, and celebration for 15 years. That's intimacy, being truly seen and accepted." holding space for each other's vulnerability. What Martha describes is emotional intimacy, the experience of being deeply known and accepted, which research shows is actually more strongly correlated with happiness than romantic or sexual connection, especially as we age. For others, physical touch remains important but takes new forms. Richard, 68, was reluctant to date after his wife's death but missed physical connection. He found his answer in ballroom dancing classes. "Dancing gives me connection, touch, joy, and exercise all at once," he explained. "It fulfills needs I didn't even know how to articulate." Even for those who do wish to date, being single after 60 offers the freedom to define relationships on your own terms. Patricia, 73, and Michael, 79, have been in a committed relationship for 7 years, but maintain separate homes. "We're together 4 days a week," Patricia explains. "The other days I have my space, my routines, my independence. It's the perfect balance for us, though my generation doesn't always understand it." What all these stories share is the courage to step outside conventional expectations and ask, what truly makes me feel fulfilled? What kinds of connections bring me joy? How do I want to experience intimacy in this chapter of my life? So how can you begin to redefine fulfillment and intimacy on your own terms? Here are 3 approaches that have helped many single seniors. First, question your assumptions. Many of our beliefs about what makes a good life were formed decades ago in a different cultural context. Take time to examine which of those beliefs still serve you and which ones you've outgrown. Would you feel fulfilled living in a different type of community? Does your sense of purpose need to come from family roles, or could it emerge from other contributions? Write down your answers and look for patterns. Second, expand your definition of intimacy. Make a list of moments when you felt truly connected to others, to nature, to something greater than yourself. These experiences provide clues to the types of intimacy that resonate most deeply with you. For some, it's deep conversation. For others, shared experiences or creative collaboration. Once you identify these patterns, you can intentionally create more opportunities for meaningful connection. Third, experiment with new relationship structures. Whether it's friendship collectives where singles share resources and support, co-housing arrangements that balance privacy with community, or non-traditional romantic relationships like Patricia and Michael's, there are more options than ever for creating connection on your own terms. Edith, now 89, summed up this truth beautifully. "In my 40s, I worried constantly about what others thought of my choices. In my 60s, after my husband died, I gradually stopped seeking approval. Now in my 80s, I realized that was my freedom, to define my own joy, my own success. I wish I hadn't waited for widowhood to claim that right." Edith's wisdom reminds us that being single after 60 isn't a consolation prize or a problem to be solved. It's an opportunity to author the final chapters of your life with unprecedented freedom. The question isn't whether you can find fulfillment as a single person. It's whether you're brave enough to define fulfillment on your own authentic terms. If this message resonates with you, please comment "freedom" below. And I'd love to hear how you're redefining fulfillment in your life as a single senior. Your story might inspire someone else to reimagine what's possible. As we reach the end of our time together, let's reflect on the 3 surprising truths we've explored about single life after 60. First, the journey of rediscovering yourself, though initially disorienting, can become one of the most exhilarating adventures of your life. Second, your social health requires the same intentional care as your physical well-being, with different types of connections fulfilling different needs. And third, you now have the freedom to redefine what fulfillment and intimacy mean on your own authentic terms. These truths point to something powerful that many single seniors eventually realize. This chapter isn't about making the best of a less-than-ideal situation. It's about embracing a unique opportunity that many never get to experience. The chance to live with complete authenticity, unburdened by compromise or convention. Think about it. Throughout most of human history, and still in many parts of the world today, individuals rarely had the chance to craft their later years with such freedom. Economic necessity, social pressure, and shorter lifespans meant few people experienced this extended period of healthy, independent living that many of us now enjoy. In that light, Being single after 60 isn't a failure of the traditional path. It's the privilege of pioneering a new one. I'm reminded of something Helen, an 86-year-old who's been single for over 30 years, told me. People often look at me with pity, assuming my life must be lonely. If they only knew the richness I've experienced, the depth of friendships I've cultivated, the adventures I've had precisely because I answer to no one but myself, I wouldn't trade this freedom for anything. Helen's perspective challenges us to see our single status not as a lack, but as an opening, a spaciousness in which we can finally hear our own voice clearly, perhaps for the first time. Whether you're newly single through loss, long divorced, or someone who chose an independent path from the start, I hope these truths have validated your experience and expanded your vision of what's possible in this chapter. The road isn't always easy. There will be moments of loneliness, practical challenges, and questions without simple answers. But as we've heard from so many who've walked this path before us, there's a depth of self-knowledge, authentic connection, and personal freedom available that can make this one of the most meaningful chapters of your life. So I leave you with this question. What will you do with your freedom? How will you use this unique opportunity to live with total authenticity? The answer will be different for each of us, and that's precisely the point. I'd be honored to hear about your journey in the comments below. What resonated most with you from today's video? What strategies have helped you thrive as a single person after 60? Your insight might be exactly what someone else needs to hear right now. If you found value in this conversation, please help me extend it to others by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with someone who might benefit. Your support allows us to continue creating content that honors the real experiences of aging, not just the greeting card version. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Until next time, remember that your life isn't defined by who's beside you, but by the fullness with which you live each day. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.